Right, so in this session we're going to be talking about Azure and its role as an enterprise-grade data center service. I'm joined by Chris and his twin brother Chris, who are going to be talking about different things as the session goes forward. So Chris, you're our resident expert in all things Azure.
Excellent.
So do you think in reality that, that Azure is ready to take on enterprise-grade services and act as an alternative data center to what people are doing today?
Absolutely. The platform's matured significantly in the last year. A lot of the add-on services that are coming in around monitoring management, so things like OMS and some of the backup services like Azure Backup and Azure Site Recovery enable organizations to really see it now as a secondary option to their data center. It's grown significantly in the last 12 months. A lot of places we work with are actually using it for live production services and having no problems at all. The addition of things like premium storage allow them to run much better workloads, or allow them to run workloads that need a lot more IOPS and things like that. Premium storage allows them to do that now, so we have no problem running highly intensive workload in there. Okay,
so based on the customers we've spoken to in the last kind of 6 to 8 months, I mean, what's the typical type of thing, of service, of workload that these customers are putting up from what you've seen?
So quite often there's, we tend to stretch the environment, their existing environment up into Azure, and the first set of workloads are things like development and test environments, A, to let the customer get a feel of this new cloud world, but B, it's a great way to really use the switch on and off capability of Azure. So build up a dev test environment if it's not being used, then switch it off, you don't pay for it, and it allows that kind of scale to stretch and shrink as well. But that's quite often the first workload set that we see going up there.
Okay, so if you were to meet someone in the street today and they say, why should I do this? You know, I'm an enterprise customer, I've got an estate today, I've got a whole bunch of servers in my basement and they're all working beautifully fine. You know, what would you say the real killer thing for them that they should be considering using these kind of public cloud services for is?
A lot of the advantage comes around OPEX instead of CAPEX spend, so a lot of people's budgets are moving to that kind of model. People have held off spending out money for the last few years on upgrades of hardware. By investing in public cloud, it allows you to invest gently and invest only what you need. So you don't need to buy a big server for that workload that you need the big server for 2 days a month. It allows you to run small and then extend up into big. So it is the whole elasticity thing around public cloud that really gives them the benefit of that IT workload in the cloud that they can run their services on at the optimal speed, processor and storage they need for that service at the time they need it.
Okay, excellent. So last question's one about speed to provision, I suppose. So in our experiences, going from pretty much a standing start into production-ready workloads being up there, roughly what are we seeing the engagement times looking like?
So we're seeing the engagement, if you're looking at a data center that's got the full managed monitor and backup capability in it that can actually run enterprise services, we're looking at from a initial scoping and design to implementation and testing of the core infrastructure services about 2 to 3 months to be able to get an empty data center, if you like, and we then kind of move on to an application transformation exercise where we start moving the individual workloads in to fit into the data center that we've created.
Right, okay. So I said it was the last question, I actually lied. So a little bit about us, I suppose. So what do we bring to the table that makes us slightly unique in the market at the moment?
Sure, so we've done this a lot now. We've been through the pains of moving that workload. Any kind of transition and transformation has always got nuances to it. We now have worked enough with Azure to know that what we need to do and what we need to know about on-premise environments to be able to move them. We have a very modular engagement strategy where we can just engage to do discovery and design with organizations, and during that time do some element of knowledge transfer to the end user so they can do some implementation themselves. That way they get to run and learn the environment, or we can go the full piecemeal and do a full implementation and take it into managed service as well. But it's that breadth of what we can offer from an engagement perspective that really makes us different to other organisations that are doing a similar thing.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. Well, there you are. You've heard it from the expert. So if you need any help in engaging and having a conversation around Azure and cloud services, then call Chris.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.